Welcome to my channel, Eli&Y. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this waffle sweater, and I am labeling the size of this as 0 to 3 months, but I don't really like sizing that much because tension and yarn thickness, unless you are using the same exact yarn and the same exact tension as me, it can turn out to be a different size, and it's very customizable by using a little bit of a thicker yarn or a little bit thinner. But for the sake of the video, this will be labeled as a 0 to 3 size sweater. It has quite a bit of stretch to it, and just to give you guys an idea, let's look at the gauge swatch. So let's do 5 centimeters over here. So if I'm gonna put it to the waffle from the first crochet front post to right about over here, right after the post, is 5 centimeters on the waffle stitch. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 double crochets in the waffle stitch for the gauge. And for the ribbing, also let's do 5 centimeters. If we start from here to here, so that is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rows for a 5 centimeter gauge. Anyways, let's get started with how to make this adorable little sweater. For this project, the yarn I'll be using is Baby Bee Sweet Delight in the color Angel, and 2 size crochet hooks, a 4mm and a 3.5. Starting with a 3.5mm hook, we are going to work on the collar. So we're going to make the ribbing, starting with a slip knot. Put it on your hook. And we're going to start for this size by chaining 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here I have a chain of 12. Now into the second chain from the hook, not this first one, I'm going to work a single crochet. And into the next one as well. So all the way down into each stitch, I'm going to work 1 single crochet, and at the end you should have 11 single crochets. Okay, I finished my first row of 11 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1 for my turning chain and work back loop only, single crochet all the way down, back loop only. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm at the end of row 2. You chain 1 and turn your work for the next row, again only back loop. So that's just how you go all the way around, and we're going to do this until we have 58 rows. I will meet you guys at the end. Here I have completed 58 rows, and an easy way to count is on the ridge. So not the first one, but the one that goes up a little, counting by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, and 58. And let's measure this for reference. So this whole length measures about 22 centimeters. So not quite 9 inches. Just for reference, in case you are using different thickness of yarn, this pattern sizing can be varied by a thicker yarn or a thinner yarn for it to end up being a different size. Now for the next step, we're gonna put our ends together using the 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to go through the back loop and through the edge over here of the foundation chain. And I'm going to slip stitch this together. And I'm going to do that all the way down. Each one slip stitching. I'm finishing up my very last one. It's a little bit hidden. Then you want to chain one. Now we're going to be folding this down to turn it into like a double thickness collar. So we're going to go into the ones that stick out more and then ones that are in between. Stick out in between. So first I'm going to go into this one, and you can open it up and follow this row through so that you can make sure you're going into the right one. So I'm going into the top of this row and I'm going to follow it through to here. So let's flip it over and make sure we get it in so it matches up nicely. And with this, we're just going to single crochet. And then we're going to go in between, just this little two, and single crochet, and then the ridge. Make sure you're getting it from both sides. We're going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you guys at the end. We should be left with 58 single crochets. Okay, I went all the way around single crocheting, and this is how it's looking. This is the collar. You want to go back and count each single crochet. It's really important that you have the right amount of stitches, because this next part we're going to start the sweater, and it's important to have the right stitch count or else the sweater will be off. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, and now we're done with this hook, and we're going to size up to the 4 millimeter for the body of the sweater. Okay, so I single crocheted, and I'm going to start with my first V-stitch for the yoke. So we have the collar, the yoke, the body, and the sleeves. So we finished the collar. Now we're going to work on the yoke, the expanding of the sweater. We're going to begin with a V, so we're chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into that same stitch. This will be like our corner. And next we're going to double crochet, 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can go back and count, not counting the V stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now into the next stitch, we're going to make our next V, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same stitch. So this area here is our first sleeve. Now for the front, we're going to double crochet into the next 18 stitches, 1 double crochet into each. Okay, so we're going to go back to this V and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 18, and into the next stitch, we're making our V. And then 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. Okay, so skipping this V, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9, and then we make our last V. And for our back side, 18 double crochets. Okay, quick little recap. So for this first round, we have our V, which is with a chain 3. We have 9 double crochet, V, 18 double crochet, V, 9 double crochet, V, 18 double crochet. And now I'm at the end of this round. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain space, not the stitch, just the space. And for the next round, I'm going to start with chain 3 and double crochet into that space. Now we're going to work on top of the previous double crochet from the V stitch. That's how we're going to increase. So right in here into the stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. Now we're going to start our waffle pattern. So for the next stitch, we're going to do a back post. So pick it up. Like that. And the same for the next one. You're not working into the stitch, but around the back of the stitch from the previous row. And then into the next one, we're going to work at the top a regular double crochet into the stitch. So that is our regular 2 back posts, regular. Now we're going to do 2 back posts again. And a regular into the next. Then 2 back posts. and a regular, which leaves us with one more stitch before we do our V. For the last stitch, before we do our V, we're just going to do a back post. Even though it's not complete, the other rounds will even it out. And then we're going to do a V stitch right into the space. So without counting our V stitches, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 double crochets for this sleeve. Previously we had 9, so each round we increase by 2. So we had 9, and for this one, 10, 11, because we increased by 2. Now for the next one, we're going to start off by working into the V at the top, regular, and then 2 back posts. At the top, and 2 back posts. And you're just going to keep going until you get to the next V, which I'll show you what we're going to do towards then. Okay, I'm here right before my V, my last stitch. I'm going to do a back post to that previous V, and then I'm going to make my V, chain 1, and without counting the V's, you will have 20 double crochets. Now, the next sleeve, we're going to start with 1 double crochet into here, and 2 back posts. One regular, 2 back, so basically this is just the pattern, same as the other one. So I'm going into my regular, and then for the last stitch we're going around the back of that previous V, and then we're going to go in and make a V. And to start, we're going to go on the top here, just the same, and 2 back posts, and we're going to go all the way around following that pattern. 2 back posts, 1 regular, 2 back posts, 1 regular. I'm here at the end, about to do my very last stitch, and usually we would go around our previous double crochet, but this time we can just go around the chain 3 back post, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain, and there we have our second round. To start our next round, we're going to chain 3 and double crochet. Now for this one, we're going to work in the top of this previous V, a regular double, and into the next one we're going to do a front post this time around the double crochet. and then 2 regulars. So the previous row, these 2 were back posts, but we're going to just work into them regular double crochets and then a front post. Regular, and front post, regular crochet, double crochet, and front post, which leaves us with 2 regular over here. This second one is going to be from the V stitch. So regular, regular, and then we're going to make our V into the space. Double crochets, chain 1, double crochet. Again, work to that V stitch. Then we're going to front post, regular, regular, front post, regular, regular, and front post. And we're just going to keep on repeating this pattern. Now I'm towards the end of the next V stitch. We're going to end with 2 regular double crochets, this one at the top of the previous V, double crochet, and then into the stitch space, this space over here, we're going to make our next V, and into this double crochet from the previous V, we're going to do a regular double crochet at the top and a front post double into the next, 2 regulars, and you repeat that. We're by our next V, ending this section off with a regular one, another regular one, and then V stitch. Now we're going to do a regular double crochet into the top of the previous double crochet from the V and a front post. So basically it's just a pattern that you will see forming that you need to alternate between the rows of front post and back post. Now to finish this row off, we would do 2 regular double crochets. So we have 1 double crochet, and this next one we're going to do into this slip stitch. Just like that. Now we're done with this row, and we're going to slip stitch into this V space like that. So we're starting row 3. We have 4, my bad. 1, 2, 3, and now for the row 4, chain 3, double crochet into that same space, and now we're going to back post around this V from the previous, around the double crochet from the previous V, and then back post into this next one too, and a regular, back post, and a regular. So we're just following the same as we did in our second row. The only difference is there's more stitches this time around because we are increasing every row. As you can see, our waffles are forming. This square and this square. I'm at my last stitch before I have to do my V, and I've done already 2 back posts, so we're going to do a regular double crochet into the top of the previous double crochet from the V, and then we're going to make our V. And for this, we're going to back post. And another back post into the next one. And then a regular double crochet. And that's how we're going to continue the pattern. I have my V-stitch, my previous V-stitch right here, and we're going to do a regular double crochet, V-stitch into the space, and back post on this one. Back post into the next one, and regular double crochet into the next. And you just repeat this all the way through. I am at this V space. I have done 2 back posts, so I'm going to do a regular double crochet, a V into the space, and back post. So the further we get along, you can start getting the hang of the pattern, and you can also see the ridges, the design of what goes where. So I just continue with 2 back posts and 1 regular double crochet until the end, and I'll meet you at the end. I am at the end of this round, and I'm finishing up with 1 regular double crochet into the slip stitch. I have my 2 back posts over here. And here we have completed row 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna start row 5 with a slip stitch, chain 3, and double crochet into this space. Now for this, we are gonna front post, and regular double crochet, regular double crochet into the next, and then front post, regular double crochet, regular double crochet into the next, front post into the next, and you keep repeating that. We have our last stitch to do before we make a V-stitch, and we're going to make a regular double crochet and then a V-stitch into the space. Now we're going to front post, regular, and regular. And you repeat that all the way down to your next V-stitch. My last stitch that I'm going to do before I do my V-stitch is a regular double crochet and then a V-stitch into the space. And front post. Then regular and regular, repeating till you get to your next V stitch. For my last stitch before the V is a regular double crochet and then into the space, a V stitch. Then a front post, a regular double crochet, and a regular double crochet, repeating all the way to the end. I have my front post and my last stitch. I'm going to do a regular double crochet into the slip stitch. Slip stitch, chain 3, and double crochet to the space. And now we're going to back post, and a regular. And then we're going to do 2 back posts and a regular, 2 back posts and a regular, all the way down to the next V stitch. I have 1 back post here and 1 more stitch to do before my V stitch. And for this one, we're going to back post around like that, and then make our V. And then we're going to back post, regular double crochet into the next, back post, then back post, then regular crochet, repeating that all the way to the next V stitch. For my last stitch, before I work a V stitch into the space, I am going to back post. And now make a V stitch into the space. Next, we're going to back post, and a regular double crochet, then back post into the next 2 and a regular, and you do this all the way down to your next V stitch. Our last stitch before we make a V stitch into the space is going to be a back post double crochet, and then a V stitch into the V space, and a back post a regular double crochet, then 2 back posts, and then a regular double crochet, and 2 back posts and regular, and repeat that all the way down to the end. For our last stitch of this row, we need to back post, so you can see the chain over here. We can go just around the back of it like that and slip stitch into the space. And we have completed this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, row 6. And we're going to start row 7 by chaining 3. And double crochet into the space. Now, the next thing we're going to do is a regular double crochet. And a regular double crochet into the next. And then we're going to front post. And then regular and regular and front post. And then just repeat that all the way down to the V. Regular, regular, front post. The last stitch we're going to do before our V is a front post. And then into the space, we're going to do a V stitch. And then regular double crochet, regular double crochet into the next, front post. And then regular, regular, front post, repeating all the way to the next V space. The last stitch that we do is going to be a front post, and then a V stitch into the space. Then we're going to do regular double crochet, regular double crochet into the next, front post into the next, then regular and regular, then front post. Repeating that all the way down to your next V space. The last stitch we're doing here is a front post and into the space we're going to make a V stitch. Then a regular double crochet into the stitch, regular double crochet into the next, and front post. Then regular, regular, and front post, regular, regular, front post, all the way down. For our last stitch, we need to front post, so we'll be going around the chain 3 from the previous one and making a front post. Then we're going to slip stitch into this original, into this space. That is row 7 complete. I'm going to start row 8 with chaining 3 and double crocheting into the space. Now we're going to start off with a regular double crochet and then back post and back post into the next and regular crochet. then back post, regular. Repeating that all the way to your next V-stitch. The last stitch I'm going to do is a back post. And then a V-stitch into the space. Then we're going to start with a regular double crochet, back post, and a back post into the next, and then a regular into the next. Then back post, regular, repeating that all the way down to our V space. For our last stitch, we are going to back post and V-stitch into the space. And then a regular double crochet, then a back post double crochet into the next stitch, and a back post double crochet into the next stitch, then a regular double crochet into the next stitch. Then we're going to do back post, regular, repeating that all the way to the V space. Our last stitch before our V stitch is going to be a back post double crochet, and then into the space a V stitch. And then we're going to start off with a regular double crochet, then a back post into the next, and a back post into the next, then a regular into the next, and then back post, regular, back post, regular, repeating that all the way to the end. Our last stitch is going to be a back post around the chain 3, and then slip stitch to the space. Now we're going to start row 9, which is our last increasing row for the yoke before we start the body. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're doing row 9. For row 9, we did our chain 3 and double crochet into the space, and then we're going to do a regular double crochet, front post, double crochet, regular double crochet into the next, and front post into the next. Then regular double crochet, front post, repeating that all the way to the end here. The last stitch that we're doing is a regular double crochet, and then a V-stitch into the space. Then we're going to do regular, front post into the next, regular, and front post. And you repeat that, so regular, front post, regular, front post, all the way down to the V space. For my last stitch, I'm going to do a regular double crochet, and then into the space, a V-stitch. and then a regular into here, and into the next stitch, front post, then regular, regular, and front post. Repeating that all the way down to your V-space. Our last stitch here is a double crochet, a regular double crochet into the top of the stitch, and then a V-stitch into the space. And then a regular double crochet into here, and front post double crochet to the next stitch, and then you follow the pattern of regular, regular, front post, regular, regular, front post, all the way down to the end. My last stitch here is going to be a double crochet into this slip stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into this space. So there we have completed 9 rows, and we're done increasing. We're done making the yoke part. Now before we start on the body, we need to get ready for it, which by that I mean closing off the arms, the sleeves. So we have a slip stitch here. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go to our next V-stitch space and make a slip stitch. And then we're going to cut off the tail. I like to leave my tails pretty long for when I'm sewing it in. I have more space. And just pull this tight. And then we're going to go to our next 2 V-stitches. We're going to take our yarn. Again, I like to leave a longer tail for when I'm sewing it in at the end, and make a slip knot. Get it on the hook, and then we go into our V-space. Slip stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and take it to our next V-stitch and slip stitch. And then we're going to cut our yarn like that. So we have these little sections here. Now, again, slip knot. Actually, I want the end a little longer for my preference. Now, if you could see your chains, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go into the third chain, chain number 3. Okay, slip stitch, then chain 2, and double crochet into that same space. Yes, it looks a little wonky right now, but like I said, it'll get worked in later on. And then we're going to slip stitch to the next chain. Double crochet, not slip stitch, like that. Now we're going to work into here. So we had our front post from our previous row. That means these two need to be back posts. So we're going to go into this one from the V, the previous V, and just do a back post. Let's move this yarn end to the back. Get it out of the way. It'll get sewed in later on. And then back post to the next, and regular double crochet. And we're going to follow that along. Back post, back post, and regular. So, not minding all these ends right here, but you follow that pattern all the way down to here, and I'll meet you guys here. Okay, so I have my 2 back posts here, and before we go into our chain, don't forget to work in this last stitch. It's from a previous V space. And in here we're going to do a regular double crochet. And now into this chain 4, we're going to do double crochets into each one. Two, three, and our last one. 4. So there you have it. It does have a little gapping here, but once we're weaving in the ends, we can fix that, no problem. So now into this stitch from the V, we're going to back post. Pull this a little bit tight, and then back post to the next one, and a regular double crochet. Back post, and regular double crochet. So we're going to follow that all the way down to here. Okay, so I have worked 2 back posts, and this is the chain 3 from our previous. We're gonna work a regular double crochet into the top of it. So a little tight since this was a slip stitch. So here we have our double crochet. And now we're going to get back to the beginning here. And we have 2 more double crochets into the chain. So 1 and 2. And now into the top of our stitch, not our chain, our first stitch, we're going to invisible slip stitch, I think is the term for it, where you put your yarn in front of your hook, go in through the back, and grab our yarn and slip stitch. And now we're going to chain 2 and work a regular double crochet into the same space here, and then a front post into the next, and then we're going to do regular double crochet into the next, and front post. And then we're going to do regular double crochet, front post. Repeating that all the way towards the end here. I ended with the last stitch that I did. My last stitch over here is a front post. And then it goes into the side with all our previous 4 double crochets that we did. So for this, we're going to, and usually you would do 2 regular, we're going to do into 3. So 1 regular double crochet, 1 regular double crochet into the next stitch, and another regular double crochet into the next stitch, and then a front post. So this one has 3 double crochets between our 2 front posts, when the rest of these have only 2. So this is like a wider waffle for the side. That's how our side is going to look like. And then we're going to continue working the same pattern as we have been, with 2 regular double crochets and a front post. Like that. We're going to go work that around to the end, and I'll meet you guys at the end of this round. I am towards the end of this round. I have 2 regular double crochets, and I have 3 stitches left over here in this round. So we're going to front post into the next, and then 2 regular double crochets. So 1 regular double crochet and 1 regular into the next stitch. And we are done with this round. To start the next round, we're going to invisible slip stitch, where you put the yarn over your hook. You grab your stitch, not your chain, but your first stitch from the back, and you pull up and pull through. Then you chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. So we did regular over here. It means in this round, for this one, we're going to do back post, and then regular into the next. Then back post and back post, and then regular, back post, back post, and regular. We're going to follow this pattern all the way around to the end of the row. Also, not forgetting that over here where we have our wider waffle for our edging over here, we are going to back post in all 3 of these. So regular, back post, back post, back post, regular. And then we will continue for the rest. So I will meet you guys at the end. I am at the end of this row. I stopped here with a regular double crochet, and I have 2 stitches left, which I'm going to do back post. And my last back post around this stitch. Then I'm going to do my invisible slip stitch into the top of my stitch, my beginning stitch, not the chain. I'm going to chain 2. Now before we start our next round, let me show you the side over here under the armpit. So this is how it looks like. To give you guys a little visual, we have 3 back posts over here. And this is how this one is starting to look. We also have 3 back posts, but might look slightly wider since we have our chain 2 on this side. So for our next round, we're going to repeat the round before our last round, where we do a regular double crochet to the same stitch that you slip stitched, and then front post, and then regular front post, and you repeat that all the way around. And here you make 3 regulars and then your front post. So that is the pattern that you will be doing all the way around, building the length of your body, repeating the rows of back post and front post. One row is the 2 back post, and the other row is the front post. We're going to do this until we have a total of 21 rows, starting from the first row all the way in the neckline. So that means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 rows currently, and I'm going to keep going until I have 21 rows. And that's how long the body will be before we get to the bottom, where we are going to be making the ribbing for the bottom of the body. I have finished 21 rows, starting from the very first row over here after making the collar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And row 21, if you did it correctly, should have been front post, regular, front post, not the back post row. Now, the last thing to do in this row is to slip stitch, which I'm going to do with you guys. We are going to slip stitch into the first stitch, not the chain. And this time, we're doing a regular slip stitch. Then we're chaining 1 and into that same stitch 1 single crochet. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet again to the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch. I have 3 single crochets, and then we're gonna do 2 single crochet 2 together. So for that, we're going into the next stitch, pulling up a loop, then into the next, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling all 3 loops. Then we're going to do 3 regular single crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch 2 together, pulling up a loop, into the next, pulling it up, and then pulling through all of them. So you keep repeating that all the way down. Single crochet 3 times, and then single crochet 2 together. And you go all the way around, and I'll meet you guys at the end. I have done 3 single crochets, and I have 2 stitches left in this round, so I'm going to single crochet them together. And now, not the chain, but the first stitch, I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'm pulling up this loop just so I can switch out my crochet hook to a 3.5. I was using a 4mm for the body, because now we're doing the ribbing. So for the ribbing, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the second loop from the hook, single crochet. 1 single crochet, then single crochet into the next. That's your second single crochet. Single crochet into the next, third single crochet, single crochet into the next, fourth, and your last, your 5th single crochet. Now, not into this one where we chained and slip stitched, but into the next stitch, we're going to slip stitch, and into the next one, slip stitch. 2 slip stitches, then I turn my work to make it more comfortable to work with. And now, skipping these 2 stitches that were slip stitches and working to our single crochet, we're going to work into the back loop only a single crochet all the way up. So 5 single crochets. And here is my 5th single crochet. Then chain 1 to turn. And again, we're going to work single crochet, back loop only, all the way down with a total of 5 single crochets. My 3rd single crochet, my 4th, and my 5th single crochet. Now we're going to go into here. Make sure you do not work into the same stitch that you worked in, but the next one. We're going to slip stitch and slip stitch into the next. So we have 2 slip stitches and return. We skip those, we do not work into them, and we do back loop single crochet up. So you keep repeating that all the way around to do the ribbing for the bottom, and I'll meet you guys at the end and show you how I join. I am here towards the end, and usually you would slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, but we only have 1 stitch left. So we are going to do 1 slip stitch and skipping that stitch, we're going to work 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1 and time to join these together. For that, we're going to turn it inside out. And on this side over here, where we did our chain, we're going to go into the first one over here. Just like that. And then we're going to pick up the first stitch from the other side. Basically the same way that we joined our collar ribbing. Lining it up. So here's our second one, 2, then into the next, 3, 4, and our last 5th one, 5, and then we're gonna chain 1, pull up our loop, take some scissors, leave as much of a tail as you want for sewing in later, and snip your yarn. Hold this tight, and that is the bottom of the ribbing. We do have a little bit of a seam over here, which you could just sew it in instead of slip stitching, but I don't mind it, so I prefer to do it like that. And all that's left to do is our sleeves. Now I'm going to show you guys only on one arm how to do the sleeve, because these are identical. You do the same exact thing for both of them. Start off, we're going to make slip knot, leaving a tail to sew in. I like to leave a longer tail, but it's up to you. Put the loop on your crochet hook. Now we're going to take one of the arms and open it up. You see our chain over here where we did 4 double crochets. We're going to go into the second one. Not the first one, but the second one. Might be a little tough to work, but if you go slowly and take your time, it'll be fine. That. Slip stitch. And then chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. And going into that same chain space, we're going to do a double crochet. Now into the second chain space over here, we're going to do a double crochet And then this was previously a V over here. We are going to do a back post. And then we're going to do a back post into the next. And regular to the next. Then again, back post into the next, back post into the next, and regular. You repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you what to do on this side. I have my 2 back posts here, and I'm over here where previously it was a V, and I'm going to do a regular double crochet, and then I go to the underarm or the armpit, and I have 2 chains to work into, which I'm going to do a double crochet into each one. One double crochet and one double crochet into the next. We do have slight holes over here, which is fine because we can sew that in at the end. Now we're going to do our invisible slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet, not the chain. So like that. Then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to do chain 2 and into that same space a regular double crochet. Then into the next one we're going to do front post, and then regular to the next, regular into the next, and front post into the next, regular to the next, regular into the next, and front post. Repeating that all the way around, and I'll meet you guys around this area. I am at the end of the row with 1, 2, 3 stitches left. I did my 2 regulars, and now I'm going to do a front post. And then regular into the next, and regular into the next. Now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first stitch and chain 2. Then I'm going to do a back post, and then a regular into the next, back post into the next, back post into the next, and then regular. Again, so that is our pattern that we are going to follow. This section over here is going to be wider, a wider waffle. since it's the seam, just like it was over here. And you keep going in the round, alternating between back to back post and a front to back post and a regular, and then the next row front post to regular. And you keep going until you have a total of 20 rows. So for the body from here to here, it was 21 rows. For the sleeve, we are going to do 20 rows from, so you count it from this first one over here, right underneath the collar, all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is how much I currently have. And I'll be back when I have 20. So just a little disclaimer, the whole part that I just showed you guys on the arm, I did with the 3.5 millimeter hook, crochet hook, which I was supposed to change back to the 4 because the 3.5 is just for the ribbings. So I will be unraveling all my work and redoing it with a 4 millimeter hook. But the concept is the same. So what I showed you, nothing's wrong with it. I just did it in a wrong size hook, and the perfectionist in me needs to fix it. I am at the end of row 20. And if you did this right, row 20 should have been the row where you did 2 back posts and a regular. Now the last thing that we do in this row is a slip stitch into the first stitch. This time we're doing a regular slip stitch. And then we're chaining 1. Then going into the same space, doing 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch 2 stitches together. And then 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then slip stitch, single crochet 2 together. Once you go into the next stitch, you pull up a loop. Into the next stitch, you pull up a loop and pull through all of them. So on the bottom here, we did 3 single crochets and then 2 together. Here we're doing 2 single crochets and then 2 together. And you do this all the way around. I'm at the end of the row and I'm left with 3 stitches towards the end, and I did my 2 together. So we're going to end it off with just 1 single crochet into the next 3. And then at the top of the first stitch, we're going to slip stitch and change out our hook for the ribbing for a smaller hook. 3.5 is what I'm using. And we just do the same thing that we did over here, chaining 6, 4, 5, 6, second loop from the hook, single crochet, and 1 single crochet into each chain, which will leave you with 5 single crochets. So I have 4 And here's my 5th one. Making sure you are not going into this stitch where you made the chain, but the next one, slip stitch, and into the next one, slip stitch. Let me turn my work. Skipping these 2 stitches, we are going to work single crochet into the back loop only. So back loop only, 1 single crochet into each stitch for a total of 5 single crochet. Here's my 4th one, and 5th one sometimes gets a little bit hidden over here from the chain 1 turning, but don't forget that stitch, and then you chain 1 and you go down, also back loop only, 1 single crochet, and you repeat that all the way around your sleeve. So we're going to go all the way around repeating that. I have 1 last stitch left, and I'm going to do 1 slip stitch, skip 1 stitch, and do single crochet to the back loop all the way up with a total of 5 single crochets. So 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, put our ends inside out. Might be a little harder to do since the sleeve is a little tight. But you grab it from this side with the chain, and then grab your first stitch and slip stitch it together. Then going into the next one, making sure that you are lining it up good. And into the next. For a total of 5 slip stitches. This last one can be a little hard to see, but just take your time. And then chain 1, pull up your yarn, get your scissors, and cut a tail. Pull this tight. And there we have our sleeve all done. So like I said, you follow the same exact steps for your other sleeve. And I will do that off camera, as well as sewing in all the ends. You sew it in from the inside out, and all these ends over here. When you're sewing in these ends, you can sew in these little gaps for it to be a little more seamless. These gaps over here can be sewed in more closer together for your own preference. But yes, I'm going to do the sleeve off camera and get all my ends sewed in off camera, and I'll be back when I have that done. Okay, so I finished my sleeve. I have all my sleeves done, and all my yarn ends are sewed in. I just go in back and forth, sewing it in. Let's look under the armpits. I did sew in the holes slightly. I did not touch these holes over here because that is the increasing that separates the arm and the sweater. So that's like part of the design, you know. But the little holes that were like showing very big because of the chain that we did, I did do a little bit of sewing in. So let's measure this from the top of the collar to the very bottom of the ribbing. That is 19 centimeters. And then under the armpits to the other armpit, it's about a little bit over 18 centimeters. Yeah, I'll go with 18 centimeters. So that is the sizing for this, and that is the completed sweater. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Please subscribe, leave a like so that I can make more videos for you guys, and follow me along for my future videos. Thank you. Bye.